My name is Gregory Hayes, and I'm here to inform black people and also to express my thoughts on Donald Trump. Now, I know everyone thinks that Donald Trump is a bad guy, and me myself, I like him, but I don't think I could trust that dude with a nuclear bomb. But I like the fact that he's talking about immigration. And that's what I'm going to do in the next 5 minutes, is give you my thoughts on immigration. Immigration is a very important issue to black people, for those who are conscious and those who are awake. And I say that because immigration, 11 million illegal immigrants on the lower echelons of American society do impact black people. 35 million of you who are on the lower echelons of American society. Now, I'm not against any race, any creed, any culture, but there is something a dynamic with the 11 million illegal immigrants in this country. And the dynamic is this: 90% of them do not like nor do they respect African Americans. So my thoughts for black people are, why are we trying to bring in 11 million more haters on top of the 130 million white haters, on top of all the other immigrants that they're bringing in? And they all have one thing in common: they all do not like nor do they respect African Americans. So my thoughts with immigration is, I wouldn't mind if they brought in 100 million immigrants. If they like black people, African Americans, bring them all. But they will never bring those type of immigrants to this country. Because if those brown immigrants were to come to this country and love African Americans, they would build a wall that would put the Great Wall of China to shame. It would, not only would it be seen from space, it would be seen from Jupiter. Because the whole process of this country is to make sure that African Americans keep bowing, keep pleading, keep begging, and to have nothing, even to the point where they'll bring in billions of pounds of, or tons of drugs that are directly targeted to the African American community. But back to the immigrants. They come here very disrespectfully. They disrespected our border. They disrespected our language. They disrespected our culture. They came across the border illegally. They don't care about our language. And they damn sure don't care about African American culture and the contributions that we've given this country, that we made to this country, so they can come here and enjoy the freedoms that we fought for and that we died for. And every time we die for freedom, it's not for freedom for black people. It's freedom for all people. All our civil rights movements has always been about all people. The Latins have never, the Mexicans have never stood up for anyone but themselves. They never made it a universal struggle. It's always been an ethnocentric, Mexican Catholicism type of struggle. They all believe in the Pope, and they all believe in their Mexican heritage and their Mexican culture and their Mexican language. and they come here and flaunt our laws and hate us. Look down on black Americans because they can like sell apples and oranges and tacos on every street corner. But this is how America is. Let a black man set up a barbecue stand on that same street corner, and SWAT will jump out of the trees and say, you can't do it, nigga. So this immigration issue is, I love them, I love all people, but they don't love us. Until they love us, why are we going to bring 11 million more haters into the fry? It's enough for us to deal with white America and all of their racism and their destruction of the black culture and communities and keeping us down. And they're talking about $6 billion to build an Olympic stadium, and they're going to lose money for no good. But $6 billion in South Central and in Central Los Angeles, no one will be poor. Isn't that something? No one would be poor. And yet, they're willing to spend $6 billion on an Olympic stadium that they're only going to use for 2 weeks. An Olympic village that they're only going to use for 2 weeks. $6 billion. And they can't put that $6 billion into building these African communities, these African American communities in Los Angeles, South Central and in Central Los Angeles. And yet, they allow 11 million, most of the illegal immigrants are in those communities, setting up taco stands and baskets, setting up burrito stands and on crates, and let a black man do that. They deny him even that capitalistic equality to be able to have a product and to make $1 with it or a penny with it. And then the Latins say, well, see, we came here and we're doing okay, and you're here and you're doing nothing with your citizenship and with your heritage from your American struggles and experience. And one other thing, Latins, Mexicans, this is not Mexico. This is America. Ever since the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed in 1848 and California became a state in 1850. You can go back, you can go to Tijuana. It's 1 inch over the border, and they are doing bad. 1 inch over this border, and America is doing good. This is not Mexico. They've never fought for anything in their own country. We fought for, African Americans fought for everything in this country. And they're running over here and telling African Americans that they're no good. And they have this whole ethnocentric perspective and Catholic perspective. And they're not respecting the people who built this nation. They respect the white man. They call him the American, but they don't respect the black man when they come here. And one other thing for the Donald Trumpites, it would be so simple, very easy to end immigration. Don't need 20-foot walls going 1,900 miles. All we need is to say, no matter how many come, there's no jobs. There's no labor for non-Americans. then what will happen? They'd have to train all of these disenfranchised people in America. They'd have to pull from their own resources of people in America who are citizens, who deserve those jobs at the proper scale, the proper rate. That's what they will have to do. And you don't need a wall. Let them all come. They don't get any services. But the governor, from Arnold Schwarzenegger to the congressman, they all use illegals for cheap labor. Eliminate the labor pool and they won't come. Eliminate all the services and they won't come. They got to go back. If they need services, hey, you need services, you get exported. And that's it. We don't need a $20 trillion, a $1.3 trillion wall to keep them out. White folks is playing games. They say, oh, we don't want illegals, but they're hiring all the illegals. Somebody said, oh, you want to build a wall and keep the illegals out? Well, who's going to build a wall if there's no Mexicans here? We don't need a wall. They just get no services. They get no jobs.